Hey guys, PlayerB here. Today I'm just going to go over the basics of gunning, specifically light bow gun and heavy bow gun. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So the light bow gun is your ranged weapon that is for medium range. Um, some of the basics that you need to understand is there is, to jump right into it, there is a critical area in which you should shoot from. You can't stand all the way back here and start shooting because you won't do that much damage. Now, to tell if you're at the right spot, you need to look at the crosshair. So right now it's white because there's no thing to target. And if you look, if you see this, that means you can hit the target, but you won't do as much damage. Usually only about one. Now, if you move forward, this is where you'll see the double crosshair. It looks like a circle in the middle. Let's show you. See that? Now you'll be doing the right amount of damage. So the damage that whatever type of ammo you're using. So you see it's 7. Now if you get too close, you will also have the same problem. This isn't the thing's recommended range, but you'll do not as much. I mean, you won't do nearly the less amount of damage that you would if you're at a really far range. But that also depends on the ammo type. So right into there, the whole thing with guns is you carry different ammo depending on which bow you're using, which bow gun you're using. Each one has a very specific ammo they can use, and you can tell a good bow gun from a bad bow gun based on what ammo they can use and recoil and all that stuff, which I'll cover in another video. But the basics are normal ammo. Normal 1 and 2 are just very lackluster ammo. They just do damage, one hit, and keeps moving. There's nothing special about these. They're pretty much go-to ammo if you've got nothing else. Never use normal ammo 1. Normal ammo 1 is if you've run out of everything, then just go back to the camp and restock up. But normal ammo you probably won't be using. Then there's pierce ammo. Pierce ammo pierces through the target, so does multiple hits. Basically, if you're fighting a monster that's very long or very wide, you want to hit it at a point in which you will the bullet will travel through them, and when it travels through them, it hits multiple times. So, as you can see, the 6 twice there because it hit through the target. So here, see, it'll do that. You can pierce through multiple targets, so the bullet will keep traveling, as you can see, and it does damage. Pierce has the farthest range of all the ammos, so I could hit a target from here and still be in optimal range. But with pierce ammo, even this is too close. So this is about like a medium range. It's still too close. You won't be doing optimal damage compared to this. So there I'm doing double 8s. Where here I'm doing double 7s. The next ammo is spread ammo. So spread ammo is like shotgun ammo. Spread ammo shoots multiple projectiles, but spread ammo has a very restrictive range. So as you can see from here, out of range, it won't even do any damage because the bullets will travel and stop at a certain point. So even here, which is about medium range, it's still not close enough. You're going to do only ones here. Where about here, at close range, this is about hammer or lance range, you're going to be doing the most damage you can. Now, up in its face is when you'll do most damage, but your hits won't always hit based on deviation and all this other stuff, but yeah, this is about the range you want. This spread ammo is pretty good if you're fighting something that's like really just in your face. So there's a couple monsters that are constantly in your face. And really you want to check what the gun has to know if you're going to want to use spread ammo. But the main ammo, if you're not using certain types of ammo, is you're probably going to stick to piercing ammo. Piercing is probably your best bet. It gives you the range you need, and you can just move around at a farther range and be safer than you are with spread ammo. Other ammos include slicing ammo. So this, you lay on you hit on a target, and then those slashes it does can cut. So you can use it to cut tails off, things like that. There's sticky ammo, which you can use to stun. So think of it like a hammer hit to the head. You hit these on their head, eventually they'll get stunned. What else? There's recovery ammo, which heals targets. And there's other ammos, there's different buffs and stuff. But the main thing with light bowgun specifically now is elemental damage. So every monster in the game is weak to a certain element, as you may know. And light bowguns have the ability to rapid fire various elemental ammos. So this bow I'm using, which I will show you, this is my equipment in case you're wondering. This lightning blitz, if we go over and click left thumbstick to see your ammos, as you can see where thunder ammo is, there is arrows pointing up on the right side where it says special. That means that this weapon rapid fires, so with one trigger pull, you will fire 3 shots. So it pretty much gives you 3 times the ammo. So with this, I have 60 rounds, but since each shot fires 3 rounds per burst, it pretty much triples my ammo. Most elemental ammo doesn't have a specific range, so you can shoot it from pretty far and still get the full effect, because the damage is in the ammo shell itself and it doesn't affect it until it hits. So even from this range, which is really far, I can probably even go farther back and still do tons of damage. Yeah, even from way far, it will still do damage. Even from back here, I'm still doing a ton of damage. So the optimal range for the elemental type ammos is really far, even for a light bowgun. The other thing that light bowguns are really good at is status effects. So something like poison, you fire a couple shots of those and it'll poison them. There's paralyze to paralyze the target, and it doesn't take many shots to poison or paralyze, maybe 3 or 4, and you can get multiple. And it's really good to get multiple status effects. You're going to find that the best bowguns are ones that have multiple status effects. So poison and paralyze on one bowgun is really good. Poison, paralyze, sleep, exhaust, all these things. If you find a bowgun that has multiple status effects, those are usually the ones that end up being really good. The other special thing about the light bowgun is its circle move, which lays down a mine, so like this. Now the mine itself, it can be triggered if a monster attacks it, or you can shoot above it and it will go off. Now you can do this 3 times, and there is a delay between each one. Oh, you can do a little bit. Yes. Yeah, each one can go off multiple times, and if a monster hits it, it'll explode. These are really good if you're sleep bombing, or if you know that a monster is very aggressive that will jump at you. You can lay these down if you're playing like multiplayer, and then when the monster comes at you, just roll out the way and they'll land the spot you were at and they'll blow up. Something like Baroff's head charge, you can put these in his way, and when he comes towards you, you'll think. You can lay down all 3 at once. Usually spreading them out a bit is better, but if you're going to sleep bomb, you can put all 3 and then large barrel bombs to create a huge explosion. And so let's jump over to heavy bowgun now. The heavy bowgun, it's pretty much the same idea, except with the heavy bowgun, you're limited by mobility. So you're much slower when using the heavy bowgun. So you want to have something like quick sheathing or roll around a lot. Your optimal range is still pretty close or far, depending on what you care for, but close up, your range won't be. You're still doing damage, but it's not as good as staying farther back. They do have a lot longer range in which they can still do damage. So about here, which is about, I'd say about a couple steps back from what you are with the light bowgun. It's the same idea. You still have your elemental shots and your status elements. They're okay, but heavy bowguns are more about damage, so you'll be using a lot more piercing and spread ammo, just because they don't shoot as fast, so getting status ailments on them quickly is a bit harder to do. So with these, you want to stick to spread and pierce. Status ailments if you really need to. There's some special shots with heavy bowguns, such as the Wyvern Ammo, which is like a gun lance's Wyvern attack, so you charge it up, and it does a ton of damage. There's also Cluster Bomb, which is like a mortar strike, so and it'll come down like a bomb. So there's some special ammo, you just gotta really mess around with them, but mostly you'll be sticking to anything that does high damage. So normal, piercing, sticky ammo, stuff like that, things that do tons of damage. Now, the specials with the heavy bow guns, there's this one, which is the Gatling gun. You have to hold this down, and you just pretty much do that. You still want to stick to optimal range here, but you can move around a bit better. This is pretty good if the monster's stunned or trapped. That will do tons of damage. It's not that great to solo with because your mobility is really limited. But it's a great weapon if you're gonna use, if you're gonna play co-op or if you're playing with other hunters. So let me jump over. And the other special shot, because light bowguns only have the special shot, which is the mines. Heavy bowguns, based on which starting one you use, have two different. So the bone version has the sniper shot, which I'm going to show you, and the iron versions have the Gatling gun. So this is the sniper shot, which has quite a bit of range. You load this up. And then your range is pretty far. Let's see how far. See, even back here, it's still optimal range. Let's go even further back. Even all the way back here. Wonder how far you can actually go. So even back here, the sniper shot will still do crazy damage. And it's just one shot that does a ton of damage. It takes a while for it to recharge, but you can interrupt that at any time. Yeah, that's it. But you won't do anything unless the bullet is charged. Both have their uses. It really depends on how you want to go about them. But remember, to summarize, heavy bowguns are for a ton of damage. They've got limited bow mobility. There's also different attachments that you can put on them. The heavy bowguns, you can have shields. So if a monster does charge you, you'll hit him with a shield. Or you'll block him with a shield. But they're more about pure raw damage, not as good as on elemental damage or status effects, where light bowgun is more about speed, doing multiple hits really quickly, more about elemental damage, more about status effects, but their raw damage is a bit low, so it can take a bit longer to finish a fight. But again, that can always be countered if you know the right elemental weaknesses or if you use the right status effects on the monster. Let's switch back. That's pretty much it. In another video, I'll cover different ammos, different recoils, and reload speeds on what you should really be aiming for. And really, you just want to test them out. They're pretty easy to use since you can move around and shoot. It keeps you very safe during fights, and they're pretty beginner friendly, but it does take a lot of skill of learning. It takes a lot of preparation. So knowing a monster's weakness and knowing what elements to use, knowing what status effects affect the monster the most, can really make, let's say, a 15 to 10 minute fight into a 5-minute fight. So yeah, guys, that was my video, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.